All right, hello everyone. Thank you for attending my session. Hopefully you can benefit from it. My name is Sefati. I am the founder of Clarity Digital Agency. I have about 25 years of experience in the world of e-commerce. I got into the e-commerce because I studied computer science for my undergrad, and when I would go home from my full-time job, I wanted to do something on the side to make some side revenue and make money and eventually work for myself. One of my early projects was launching a couple of e-commerce sites. The first one was selling soccer products and sporting goods products. The other one was selling GPS systems and MP3 players before iPhone came out and pretty much killed the business. But after I shut down the electronic business and I sold the soccer business, I went into working as an SEO and marketing expert. So the reason I give you that introduction is because I learned SEO by not just reading SEO articles. I learned it in real life. I was focusing very much about revenue, how you can use SEO to increase your website revenue, and that's why I'm going to talk about today. Back in the days, early 2000s, when I had my store, my online shop, the soccer shop, all I had to do is rank number 1 or even top 3 in organic to make a sale. And that's all I had to do. And it was quite easy. There was less competition. Google algorithms were a lot less sophisticated. And that's what I did. Fast forward to today, the game has changed. There's a lot more competition. Google has changed the algorithm a lot. There's AI. I have a talk AI session tomorrow as well if you want to attend. So today I'm going to just focus more on classic SEO with some mentions of AI. So the game has changed a lot, and also Google has got a little greedier. So if you're ranking number 1 or number 2, that's not as impactful anymore. Anyone knows why? Yeah, Google Ads. Basically, your sponsored links, the top 3 links for transactional keyword are often links. And then below that, you're going to see the shopping feeds, and then below that, you're going to see if there's a store nearby selling your product, you're going to see the maps and Google listing. By the time the users get to the first organic listing, is probably, like most, if they're mobile, they're never going to scroll that way. If they're desktop, you're going to lose a lot of visibility. So the conversion rates have dropped again. It's gone down to like 2% or below for organic, where I remember conversion rate was a lot higher. So what do you do in the new world of SEO, where the SEO organic listings is being buried down in Google? Some people say, oh, SEO is dead. We're going to spend more money in Google. No, SEO isn't dead, but you got to change your strategy. So the strategy is very simple. You now look at SEO as this full funnel channel. Now, the funnel, the customer journey, whatever you want to call it, is a lot more complex than what I'm displaying here. But I've just, for the sake of simplicity, I have broken down to 3 different sections. You're going to have informational. Your SEO strategy needs to have informational content and approach. You need to have a strategy for consideration phase of the customer journey and transactional. A good example for informational, if you're looking for a running shoe, best running shoes for flat feet. That is a type of content you need to have in your website, in your e-commerce website, to inform users about your opinion about best running shoes for flat feet, assuming that you carry that product in your store. And now that you have that, so there's advantage of doing this. Not only this is informative for the users, but it's also easier to rank. And some of the problems I mentioned earlier, the ads are less likely to show for informational queries, for informational searches. And blog posts, you could get creative, and then you can have an internal link to your product pages. And more often, when we onboard e-commerce clients at my agency, we see that most of the e-commerce clients that we have, they hyper-focus on the products, which is great, and they neglect the informational part. And you don't have to call it a blog. It could be resource pages, user pages, whatever you want to call it. But you need to have a plan for your customers when they're in the research mode. Another necessity for this is that users these days are a lot more savvy, and they do the research before they buy. Then you go to the consideration phase, and that is when, let's say, somebody now they know they're comparing, they know they want a white flat feet running shoes. Now they're comparing products. Do I want to buy Brooks versus ASICS? And that's the content that often you could put on a blog, but often that type of content could actually go in the category pages. Now, here's another thing. Last year, we onboarded a very large e-commerce company. Can't name them because I don't have the permission. Probably $500,000 in sales, and they had the product category and subcategory pages were very boring. Product name, bunch of products. Don't do that. What you really need to do is have a very rich content-rich category and subcategory pages. My recommendation is very much have your category or subcategory names, and also have at least 150 words right below the H1 or the heading of the category pages, and then you can list your products. Now, there's also another thing you can do. Right below the products, you can address some commonly asked questions about that particular category, and that also helps you a lot with AI search, which I will cover more tomorrow. And then we're going to move to transactional type of searches. Like somebody now is ready to buy Brooks Ghost 15 woman size 8, right? Now that is where you have to have good amount of informative and SEO optimized content on your product pages. Another major problem I see with e-commerce vendors, especially if they're reselling someone else's product, they get the product from a manufacturer, they slap it on your website. Do not do that. Rewrite it and optimize your product pages to address at least 300 words worth of user-friendly but also SEO-friendly content. You don't have to put all of it above the fold, but you can put some of it above the fold, and kind of if they want to read more, they can go below the fold. So you don't have to, I understand the reservation of putting too much content on a PDP, but I mean, the best case study I can tell you is Amazon. Amazon, I'm not an Amazon expert, but if you go on Google and search for things, Amazon pops out at the product level for many products. That's because they have the A+ content. And of course, they're Amazon, they have a strong domain authority. But highly, there was a video I was watching from Jeff Bezos on YouTube. He said that, no one can do e-commerce better than him, whether you like him or not. He said that their data shows that when you provide more content to users so they can make more informed decisions, you have better conversion rates. So it not only helps you with SEO, but it also helps you with conversion. The good thing about modern platforms like Miva is that now you can use AI to help you with the content generations. I understand creating content can take a long time, so utilize AI to beef up the content on your product detail pages, because that definitely helps you SEO, but also helps you with improving your conversion rate. And that's basically, but the difference of your content strategy is really important to know that on places like blog or resource pages, you're going to have more informational content. On category and subcategories, you're going to have more mid-funnel consideration stage of the journey. And then on the transactional stage of the customer journey, you're going to have the product. And of course, there's another section to SEO retention. That's your customer service pages. I didn't put in a deck. That's also important. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of information here. I'm just going to go over it really quickly. Your pages all need to have a proper, unique H1 tag, optimized for search, proper keyword, proper name. Above the fold, you want to have at least 150 words of content, 300 ideal if you can. If the UI, if you don't want to put too much content above the fold, have a read more that kind of pushes down below the fold so they can read it. And definitely have a blog or article section on your website that you can create some of this content that I'm mentioning. Another thing that it's really important is that you get your technical SEO correctly. There's a lot of technical terms here. I'm not going to go over all of it, but if you use a modern platform like Miva, you just turn them on and it does the job for you, to the best of my belief. It's really important that you avoid cute, thin content. I keep working with many e-commerce clients that, the branding manager or marketing manager wants very brief, concise content because they think that's what users want. That's not, that's not most users want. You might think some users prefer that. Users want more content. Search engines want more content, and ChatGPT and LLMs want to learn from your website, so they also need more content. So really invest in creating more content for your product pages. It's that if you had to take one thing away from today's talk is, okay, I got to revisit my category pages and product pages. And that's really usually where we start. When we do an audit, e-commerce audit, we run an SEO crawl to see if there's any errors and stuff like that, page speed, all that good stuff. But I just skip the home page and I go straight to category level pages and subcategories and product. I want to see if there's enough content there, because most of the searches that you see in Google is going to come from, people are looking for as category level searches or product level searches. And another good thing about creating more content for your website at different stages of customer journey is that we have noticed that when you actually invest more in a higher funnel and mid-funnel content, your branded search goes up. People trust you more and then go search you, and then you're going to rank for your own brand number one. No one's going to be able to bid against you. So that also is another indirect benefit of creating early stages content. It helps your brand and branded search. You want to have a good taxonomy. FAQ pages, again, on my talk tomorrow, I'm going to cover a little bit more about AI search, where traditional SEO is about keywords and key phrases. AI and even Google AI overview is more about answering prompts and questions. So having an FAQ, unique FAQs for every product and category pages on your website will definitely help you answer some of those questions that people would be asking AI or would be prompting. Again, have the schema markups. If you use a platform like Miva, just turn it on. And you really want to have a good taxonomy, your URL structure. You don't want your website to be, your category, subcategory pages to be too buried down. So revisit it the taxonomy. Don't just create pages, really think it through. And you can always test your copy to see, like you added more copy, did it hurt the conversion, did it help? In most cases, it helps. So this is what I like to call a semi-ideal product detail page in the world of e-commerce. You need to have a unique product title, and I prefer that your product titles also have the keyword, if you can. If you cannot rename it, that's fine, of the product. You want to have very unique product copy. Please do not take your manufacturer copy and slap it on your website. That's not, you're competing with many other people. Rewrite your content, unless there's some sort of weird copyright issues. Rewrite it, use AI. Go to ChatGPT. If you have the latest version of Miva, there's an AI assistant. Rewrite your product copy. Visuals, content isn't just text. Content is videos, content is images. Don't get lazy with that. Invest in creating unique product images and visuals. I'm going to skip reviews. I'm going to come back to it later. Image alt tag. We have a client that came to us because they were getting sued. Now, I'm no legal expert, but you must have proper alt tags for your images. Because alt tag is a very important accessibility factor. Visually impaired individuals use those headphones to understand what the image is. If you don't have alt tag, or if you have a lazy alt tag that doesn't describe what the image is, you're putting yourself at a lot of risks. So this is not only an SEO thing, but it's also an accessibility thing. Really pay attention to that. We talked about FAQs, schemas, reviews and ratings. I'm going to go back to that. That's really important, not only for user factors, but now more and more for AI. I use this example a lot. I was in Lake Arrowhead. I was looking for a bunch of I love coffee, and I was looking for coffee. I like independent coffee shops. I'm looking for independent coffee shops in Lake Arrowhead. He gave me a list of 5. I think I used Perplexity for that. He gave me a list of 5 coffee shops. The one that, and I asked Perplexity, why did you give me these? And then he basically said it was based on the reviews. So your reviews matter. Especially in AI search, but increasingly in traditional search. And of course, we all know that having good reviews helps you sell more. Something I really want to emphasize on is that out of stock strategy, more e-commerce shops don't have it. When a product is out of stock, they just delete the product or have no plan for it. And that could actually hurt your SEO and customer retention a lot. For one of our clients, which was doing that, every time they were out of stock, they would just delete the product, and it would cause a lot of crawler errors in the Google Search Console. Again, this is not a one-size-fits-all. You have to have your own strategy. But for that particular client that sold apparel, we told them that this is why we came up with this strategy. That's if the product is out of stock temporarily, you just say temporarily out of stock, and you also include an estimate time that would get restocked. And now you have to give estimate because you don't know how long it would take. But the good thing about that approach is that users, many users will probably bookmark that page for later use. And that could actually work to your benefit from SEO perspective. If the product is discontinued, I still recommend to keep the product for a while on your website and just say it's discontinued, and then maybe after a few weeks, usually at least a month, delete the product and redirect that product to the next, to the product similar product you're carrying, or the parent directory of that product. For example, if you're no longer carrying ASICS running shoes, you want to redirect it to Brooks, or you want to redirect it to the running shoes category. It's really important for you to have these type of strategies. It might not sound like a big deal, but from an SEO perspective, it's really important. It helps improve your crawl rates, and also the 301 redirects that you will have will preserve your SEO authority. Shopping feed optimization, there's not a whole lot you can do to shopping feeds, but my recommendation is that just make sure the title tag, if you have there's a type of a global trade item number, basically that matches your products, and also the availability. So if it's more of a manual work, that's why there's feed management systems out there. I don't want to name any of them to cause any issues, but look it up. There's feed management tools out there that do a good job, so you don't have to do it manually. And again, product schema, I skipped that one. again, that's really important. In the search engines, especially AI, you need to have schema around your products. And I just can't emphasize enough the difference between having it or not having it. It's a lot. In visibility, in rankings, and everything. I covered it a lot. So on the content side, generally, the type of content you will have in the early stages would be how-to guides, buyer guides, then in the middle funnel, comparisons, FAQs, and then later, expert roundups and product reviews. Now, I want to get off the website conversation for a little bit. SEO has increasingly moved toward digital branding, what in the SEO world we call entity optimization. Where back in the days we cared about PageRank, we did link building and we drove a lot of links to our website. Today we care about your brand as a whole. So that's something that happens off your website. Okay, there's not a whole lot you can do on your website outside the things that I covered. That means that you have to have a plan and a strategy in place to improve and expand your digital footprint across web. This helps you with Google rankings, but helps you even more with AI visibility. What does that mean? Brand mentions on other websites that are relevant to yours. You know, we actually have a product called Digital PR. We get placement on places like Forbes or whatever that it is that relevant for a dentist client we had on a reputable dentist website, dentist publication. Even if some of those articles, some of those publications don't link back to you, the fact they're mentioning you, that is going to help. I'm running out of time. I gotta go a little bit faster. You also want to help improve your reviews, not at a product level, but for your brand level. So ask your customers, are you happy with our services, and send them to your trusted, to your Google reviews, and so they can review your whole shop as a whole. There's a lot of stuff here that Core Web Vitals, crawl budget, a lot of technical SEO things. If you like a copy of this deck, please come to me, and I'm more than happy after the conversation. I'm more than happy to email it to you. But I do want to mention something. Your SEO success, you should pivot away from keyword rankings or single keyword ranking in isolation, and just overall organic traffic, and think about your overall organic revenue. And if you want to still track your keywords, understand that different keywords have different roles. Not all of them are supposed to bring you sales, right? And so just you have those informational keywords, group them by intent. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And just look at SEO as a full funnel thing. It's not always there to convert, but it definitely does help other channels. For example, someone reads an article on your blog and then they see one of your retargeting ads and they go ahead and buy. So if you pivot overall your strategy from last click transactional SEO optimization to more of a full funnel optimization, you will still have a very good, solid 2026 SEO strategy. And again, I'm going to skip all this. I mentioned a lot of those, so these are the things you can do. If this deck, if you want to get a copy, and I don't think we have any time for questions. Thank you.